What is going on, everybody? It is Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. On today's episode of A Scout's View, we're going to take a look at Jalen Green. Green is a 6'5" hyper-athletic wing who was born in February of 2002. He has been described most notably as the likes of Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine, Eddie Jones. He has ample experience playing on the international level. He was the U17 MVP in the 2018 World Cup, and he was the youngest player on the roster for this summer's U19 team in the FIBA World Games, where he averaged 10 points per game. This video we are watching of Jalen was shot by Courtside Films and uploaded on February 11th of 2019. It is titled Jalen Green Ultimate Mixtape, #1 player in high school basketball. You are able to look in the description and look for the original video. Click on that link and make sure that you give Courtside Films a follow as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video and let's take a look at Jalen Green. Jump right into the viewing of this. We got Jalen Green, Ultimate Mixtape, #1 player in high school basketball from Courtside Films. And as you can see right off the rip, his explosion absolutely pops. He's got a sense for showmanship. Nice footwork in the mid-range, getting that open shot with the mid-post. There you go, showing some breakdown. So something about him that really pops off the page immediately is his aggressiveness attacking downhill. He goes to the basket straight line, and he goes up, and he attacks the rim. Also, his obvious athleticism, length and athleticism pops off the page immediately. He attacks 7-footers directly in the chest. He's a straight line, one bounce, get downhill, get to a spot. Looking at his gosh, man, he's crazy. If he would have spent a year in college, I couldn't imagine the darling he would have become playing at at a school with ESPN and all that kind of stuff. Very confident, as you can see there, going through the different angles, different teams and stuff. Look at that, 2 dribbles, get downhill, 2 steps within the 3-point line, goes up and dunks it. There you go, showing more the vision. Eye-popping dunks. Oh, gosh, 360 athleticism in game. That's crazy. Something that's showing here in these highlights, obviously these are highlights and this is only good stuff, is his shooting form. While the shots aren't necessarily great shots, the form of it looks good. High in the pocket, gets it up, high release, easy shot, soft, high arc. The makings of a good jump shooter. Very confident off the bounce as well shooting. Haven't seen a catch and shoot thing yet. Obviously this is a highlight, so catch and shoots aren't necessarily the most fun to show in a highlight reel. But he's very confident off the bounce and shooting. He has a very nice right to left kind of crossover getting into his shooting motion. If you notice, all the jump shots that he's made here have been right to left. There is him splitting a pick and roll. That's another thing that I think is kind of underrated about his game. With his experience at the national level and all that kind of stuff, he's played in some pick and roll, and he's shown an ability. There you go again with that right to left crossover into a shooting position. There he goes, going left again into a shooting spot. The form looks good. The shots are being made. But what I was getting back before is him in the pick and roll. He's able to split the pick and roll. He's able to slither through and get downhill and actually make reads out of the pick and roll at a rudimentary level. So that's very intriguing moving forward. There you go, another one going left there. The footwork in order able to get his shot off is pretty interesting here as well. Coming around the screen there, as you see again, his play in the pick and roll. There goes another right to left crossover into a jump shot. He seems to be very comfortable again going right to left into the jump shot. There he was finishing. Wow, behind the back. Wow, that's an impressive athlete. Standing 6'5", able to do this type of stuff too. Splitting the screen again, making a read in the lane. I think that's a very underrated part of his game is the pick and roll, how he does in the pick and roll and plays in the pick and roll. There goes one, actually going right with the jump shot, smooth as you saw. The form within the shot, very nice. Spin into a dunk. That's crazy. Kids didn't know what hit him there. 7-footer jumping with him. That guy, he almost hit his head on the backboard. Did he hit his head on the rim, on the backboard there? Oh, my gosh. Very exciting, very exciting. I feel like coming into the G-League, he'll have a lot of cameras on him. It'll be very fun to see how he develops with that. That was a very good mix from Courtside Films. Make sure you take a look at the bottom here. The link to the actual film is in the bottom. Subscribe to Courtside Films as well. So going through my thoughts here on Jalen Green, obviously, again, that was a highlight tape. So there was no negative plays there and all that kind of stuff. But you get a kind of good of a feel as to how he moves, what he does, how he's successful in his game. Very clear and easy to see as to why he would be the #1 prospect in the game. he's able to kind of combine skill, IQ, incredible natural athleticism, and excitement within the game. He's very easy to watch, very fun, and he's explosive. Crowd favorite, I'm sure, in every gym that he went to. There's just a lot of stuff there. And it looks like there's some ceiling to go to because he has some natural tools that he has to work with that have continued to develop over time. He's played on the big stage. He's played on numerous U.S. national teams, coming through the whole USA developmental program, playing the big national schedule at Prolific Prep all over the place, getting everybody's best, sold out crowds everywhere he went, and all that exciting stuff. Now the question is, how is he going to look moving forward toward a pro? So he has already made the transition from his prep career is in the past. He's already made a transition to be a professional player. He's the very first person ever to commit to doing this with the G-League Developmental League. So it'll be very interesting. I don't want to call it a case study, but it'll be very interesting to see how things move forward with him and progress with him. First off the page, what you notice, he's a freakish athlete. He's got solid length, but his aggressiveness in how he plays the game, his aggressiveness in getting downhill, his aggressiveness in attacking the basket and going up. It doesn't matter if there's somebody in his way. It doesn't matter if the defender, he's going to get to the basket. Now, that's both good and bad. He does cause a lot of unnecessary charges on himself. He's going to need to have better body control as he attacks the basket, develop some sort of middle games, develop some sort of floater, all that type of stuff within the basket, Euro steps, and some shiftiness within the paint. But the aggression is something that you have to love, because you would rather have to tone somebody down than have to ramp them up. And he's somebody that the aggressiveness is natural within his body, and his freakish athleticism is a natural thing as well. If you notice in there, the behind the back dunks, the 360 dunks, the in game type stuff that he's doing on top of 7-footers heads, without fear. I think that's something that's very translatable and easy to work with as well. He's a great in the open court. He's very straight line, and he's very fast. There's no left to right type stuff with him. He is one step downhill, get to the basket, finish at the rim type of stuff in the full court. Now, when he gets ahead of steam, he is going to the basket. Good luck meeting him at the rim. He's got a slender frame, but he's continued to put on weight here these last couple of years, which should continue to progress. He has a 2002 birthday, so he's still young, still developing and all that stuff as he continues to not have to necessarily go to school, and he's able to focus on basketball full time, be on a disciplined regimen of eating, of weights, of workouts, of training. That will continue to come as his body fills out. He has broad shoulders, and he'll be able to put on the weight and all that kind of stuff. But he is very, very good in the open floor. Very, again, aggressive, downhill, getting to the rim and attacking the basket, getting to his spots, knowing what he wants to do, and not second-guessing himself, not having to go through and not having to process what he wants to do with the ball in attacking the basket. Another thing that I think that we hit on here during that video clip that I think is an underrated part of his game is his ability to navigate pick and roll and ball screens. He's able to split the screen. He's able to get downhill to where he wants on the point. He's also able to make reads out of the screen. Now, his assist numbers and all that kind of stuff haven't been great traditionally. I think it's, two assists per game, kind of along those lines. But he has shown, as he showed in that clip, the ability to make the read out of the screen. He's shown the ability to be able to come around the screen, and if it sags, knock down the jump shot or take the jump shot. And if they press up on him, able to get by into the second level of defense and then either dish it or finish at the rim. I think there's some upside there, not necessarily as a primary ball handler, but as somebody who is a wing handler, which is so vogue in the NBA right now, with the ability to create offense with the ball in their hands. I think that he kind of fits that perfect mold as to what the NBA, the direction and the sexiness of what's in the NBA right now, per player-wise and what they're looking for. Defensively, he's a very aggressive defender. He's got solid length, but he really presses up, especially in the passing lanes. He's really good in the passing lanes. As you know, going toward the NBA, your ability to defend the ball is important, but is incredibly important your ability as a team defender. He's got awareness. He's got IQ surrounding him around the ball as to where it's going to. But he's got great anticipation in the passing lanes. He's able to turn defense into offense very quickly. And he's got the dimensions. He's got the quick twitch. He's got all that in order to be a good on-the-ball defender as well in the future. But as of right now, his ability to defend in the passing lanes is really good. He's probably going to end up being a multi-positional type defender, and he's got the aggressiveness, he's got the athleticism, and all that kind of stuff to actually end up being a plus defender at the next level as he continues to move forward. A couple of the things, that a little bit questionable, whatnot. His shot selection, while his shot looks good, and you saw that within the highlight clips there, his shot looks good, his form looks good, all that kind of stuff looks good. His shot selection has been a little bit off, and he hasn't made traditionally a ton of shots from the perimeter. That's going to have to be something that kind of, as he understands footwork, as he understands his base, as he understands his balance a little bit more, as he understands the shots and his spots. A lot of guys, when they're younger, they're able to do anything they want on the floor, so they don't necessarily know their spots. As he learns more, watches more film, and gets more into where his spots are, I think that his shooting percentage will continue to rise and will continue to get better. His frame, he's young. We touched on this a little bit earlier. It's something that where he can continue to grow into it as he gets on a professional type of schedule, a professional type of weight room, nutrition. As he stays within the flow of becoming a pro, his frame will continue to grow. So he'll get stronger. He'll get more athletic, amazingly, and he'll continue to do all that kind of stuff as he continues to understand. His aggressiveness, we touched on this a little bit, can create turnovers. So he's going to have to learn how to kind of harness that a little bit within the game, both in attacking the basket and taking charges, as well as you saw that one spin move where he split the double team with a spin move, and a little bit reckless stuff like that. That'll have to be honed in. That's not a huge deal at this point in time. As he continues to play against older players, against more experienced players in this G-League Developmental League, these guys are this is high level talent. These are guys that have been in the league. These are guys that have been drafted, and all this kind of stuff that he's going to be going up against. As he continues to do that, as he continues to go through his own film, as he continues to learn his spots and everything, that stuff will most likely be reined in. So that's not necessarily a negative moving forward. That's just something at this point in time that he would need to continue to work on, and developing confidence in a middle game. Right now with him, it looks like right to left off jump shot or straight line downhill to the basket. As he continues to develop a middle game, as he continues to touch the paint, play off 2 feet, and make reads and all that kind of stuff, he will just become that more lethal of an offensive weapon. He's got the ability to create off the bounce. He's got the first step to be able to create off the bounce. In the half court, he shows moves, he shows counters, and all that kind of stuff. He still needs to tighten up the handle in tight spaces, in the half court especially, and all that. But there's a lot of stuff here to work with. It's very easy to see as to why he is the number one player in this class and why the Developmental G League went after him to kind of be the first one, him and Isaiah Todd, why they went after him to be the first one to go through this process. I think that there's a lot there. I think that there's very real talk of him being the number one player in this next year's draft. Were he in this year's draft, I feel like he probably would have been the number one player selected as well. There's just a world of upside there. He's kind of a perfect mix of everything coming together. He's been compared to in the past Eddie Jones, Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine, all guys that have had very successful NBA careers. It'll be interesting to see how he continues to develop, how he uses this year, as it is a developmental thing. Now, for my thoughts on this G-League developmental thing, you come out, you get $500,000 off the rip and endorsements. That's very important. As him being projected as possibly the number one, if not top 3 pick in next year's NBA draft, I'm sure that shoe companies' endorsement deals will easily be worked, because now he's able to sign with a true agent who's not an NCAA compliant agent. He's able to sign with a true agent who has tons of NBA players, and they can work the phone lines for him. They can work the deals for him. They can get the things going for him off of the court. So the majority of the money, just like if you look at it, Michael Jordan, for instance, he made $86 million through NBA contracts in his career. However, all of his money came off as endorsements. Obviously, the Jordan brand's the biggest brand, one of the biggest brands in the world. And he's made billions of dollars off of the Jordan brand. Endorsements, when done right, supersede the amount of money that you make on the basketball court. Jalen Green has the potential to be that type of athlete, that type of shoe deals and all that kind of stuff. Will that come right now? No, he's probably not going to have the notoriety. I'm not entirely sure what kind of TV deal they have worked with the G-League Developmental League and all that kind of stuff. I know they're going to be touring all over the country, and they're going to be playing in spot games and doing all that kind of stuff, as well as, learning and developing and training and all that kind of stuff. Also going to classes. I think that's a very important thing that they need to go here. They're able to take money management classes. They're able to take public speaking type classes, developmental type classes off the floor, to stuff that helps somebody who is as young as Jalen is, who is 18 years old, going through this process, helps them to succeed in life and not be a cautionary tale of money spent, not being a cautionary tale of just being able to function within what's going to be thrown at him. This developmental league, this thing's going to be taking care of that, and that's going to be exciting to see as it does. We look also forward at this unknown aspect of college basketball. We don't really know what's going to happen with the college season this coming year. They are, with the quarantine and coronavirus, will there be a second wave of it? Just kind of what's going to happen with it. There's a very real chance that maybe it's not seen. Maybe the season starts late, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know what's going on with that. This is a sure thing. We know the NBA Developmental League is going to be had, is going to happen. He's going to be able to develop. He's going to be able to practice. He's going to be able to train and do all that kind of stuff with these people who are already in the league and all that. Don't feel like this developmental league is taking kids away from college. I feel like with the recent history as to what has happened, I feel like this G League is offering an alternative to keep kids home. In the years past, we've had kids go over to the NBL over in New Zealand and Australia and have success there. We've had kids that just took the year off and trained and got drafted and everything. This is offering an alternative for those kids to come in and develop and get their games better and get their lives better, get their polish better, and become ready to be pros. I don't think this is taking away from the NCAA. I don't think this is combating the NCAA. I don't even think this is considering an alternative to the NCAA. I think that what the direction of this is an alternative to not playing at all and just training, or an alternative for the elite level players to going overseas and doing that. Will this turn into a European style of academy model? Possibly. Don't know what this is going to look like moving forward. We have to go through. It hasn't even had day one of the process yet. So it's going to have to go through the year, see how it does, see how Jalen does, see how Isaiah does, see how the other guys do within this league and this program. But it very well could become an academy type of thing. And is that necessarily that bad of a thing? I mean, if these people who know, when I was in high school, I went to a devotional school, the School of Science and Math, because, at that point in time, I knew what track I was going to go in down the line and all that kind of stuff. I knew it was an academy. You had to apply for it, get into it, and then you went through a devotion and all that kind of stuff. Why not do the same thing with athletes? I mean, there's an IMG down there that does golf and tennis, and they have a great basketball program and all that kind of stuff. Overseas in Europe with soccer, you see it. Overseas in Europe, you see it with basketball and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, is it really that bad of a thing if America adopts it? Who knows? I mean, for the elite of the elite, the ability to go through and train from a young age all the way going through, kind of the USA is doing it right now. Team USA stuff, every year having the camp starting over, all the way to, I think, U14 or U15 and going all the way up every single year, playing overseas and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that takes place. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is a really good thing, and I'm interested in seeing how it works out. And I think that Jalen Green is the perfect candidate to be the first person to go through it. As I said before, he has the chance to be the number one player in next year's draft, and this will be very interesting to see. Without all the hype that, say, a Zion Williamson got at Duke, or without all the hype that, say, a LaMelo Ball got overseas in Australia, what will the hype machine look like with this G-League Developmental League? And it could be very interesting moving forward because they're on to something with this. And looking at Jalen, looking at how he progresses moving forward, as you saw in these clips from Courtside Films, he's freakishly athletic, and he's got a lot of very positive things going for his game. He needs to tighten some things up within his game, but that will come as he's able to focus fully on his game coming into this developmental league. He's got pro coaches teaching him how to be a pro. Nothing negative can come from that. But very excited about it, guys. If you enjoyed if you enjoyed this review, please feel free to share it across your platforms. Thank you to Courtside Films. Be sure to check them out in the below. Make sure that you follow them. Click on the link and all that kind of stuff. If you would, please subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit the like button on this specific video. And in the comments below, if you would, share with who you'd want to hear from next. On the last one I did with James Wiseman, people, McCormack, or people said Jalen Green, all that kind of stuff. So here we go. Here's the Jalen Green one. Very excited to listen to you guys. If you would, comment below who you'd like to hear about next. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel and all that kind of stuff. But until next time, please continue to tune in. I am Jamie Shaw on the Absolute Basketball Experience. This is a Scouts View featuring Jalen Green. Thank you guys very much.